Kraven the Hunter and Spider-Man are reversing their roles as the war crawler begins a deadly hunt. Spidey's longtime rival Kraven the Hunter has resurfaced in his current comic run right in time for his upcoming film, where Kraven will be depicted by Aaron Taylor Johnson. But before Kraven picks up my scent and maws me within an inch of my life, I'd like to say hello guys and gals, I'm Nick, and welcome to Furthy's Feedback. So, upon his return, Kraven initially seemed to be forming an alliance with Dr. Octopus. However, their alliance has ended as quickly as it had begun, with Doc Ock striking out on his own. Amazing Spider-Man number 28 sees Kraven suddenly betrayed by Doc Ock, but it appears this will not mark the last time audiences will be seeing the Hunter in this series. In fact, a preview of what's to come confirms that Kraven will be returning sooner rather than later. Seemingly also returning will be Spider-Man's black suit, as Peter is seen stalking Kraven from above on the cover of Amazing Spider-Man number 33. This edition, dubbed Spider-Man's First Hunt, where the Hunter will become the prey, is teased that Kraven will not only be the one hunted by Spidey, but he must survive, suggesting Peter has plans to kill his foe. It's also a clear reference to Kraven's last hunt, where Kraven killed Spider-Man, incapacitating him and burying him alive to prove his superiority. Spider-Man's hunt continues in Amazing Spider-Man number 34 from the same creative team. All signs seems to be pointing to the idea that Spider-Man may be on a mission to kill his villains. Readers are still several issues away from seeing how or why Peter would do such a thing. Still, this volume has put Peter on a path of struggle and trauma from the start. Spider-Man has mourned his relationship with Mary Jane and now mourns the death of Ms. Marvel. It wouldn't be hard to imagine that he's finally on the brink of snapping, ending his no-kill code in the process. The darkness overcasting Peter's life will seemingly be reflected in the return of his black suit, something he usually only brings out when he needs to be at his most ruthless. However, even in his black suit, he's never resorted to going out of his way to be a killer. Until now. What's also interesting is that the next issue's cover features Spidey and the Green Goblin. Former Goblin Norman Osborn, now rechristened as the pure-hearted Gold Goblin ever since the Sin Eater took away his sinful past, has spent this series trying his hardest to stay on the path of righteousness and help Peter succeed. Meanwhile, the synopsis for these upcoming issues imply Peter will be straying further than he's ever gone from such a path. Is this just a mislead for who Peter will hunt after Kraven, or could this story see a heroic goblin face a predatory Spider-Man? Readers will have to wait and see, as Amazing Spider-Man number 33 and 34 will release on September 6th and September 20th respectively. It's quite interesting that the Kraven issue of the comic is not far away from the release of Sony's Kraven the Hunter. Is there a possibility of a Spider-Man vs. Kraven the Hunter somewhere down the line? Keeping that in mind, Sony Spider-Man is almost definitely a hitherto unseen portrayal of the character, unless Sony does something drastic with the multiverse, like taking Holland's Spider-Man away from the MCU. Additionally, it could also be Miles Morales' Spider-Man from the animated Spider-Verse movies to capitalize on the character's ongoing popularity. After all, a live-action Miles Morales movie is confirmed to be in development by Sony. Regardless of whether he's in Kraven the Hunter or not, and I'm guessing he isn't, it will be interesting to see what kind of Spider-Man Sony's universe ends up introducing, though it will likely be a brand new web-slinger, which is probably for the best.